All right. Hello, my name is St. John Snope, and for this video, I'm reflecting on my professional dispositions as a teacher candidate and as someone who is already working inside the classroom. I'm currently a middle school math teacher for Stanfield, Oregon. Stanfield Secondary School in Stanfield, Oregon. And I believe the role of a teacher is much bigger than just delivering content. As a math teacher, my job is to support students learning by creating a classroom where students feel like they can try, make mistakes, ask questions, and grow. In math especially, a lot of students come in already believing they are, bad at math. So part of my role is helping them build confidence while also holding them to high expectations. Teachers also have a responsibility to improve planning and practice. That means looking at student data, reflecting on what worked, what did not work, adjusting lessons on the fly, and being willing to change instead of just blaming students when something does not go well. Me personally, I always put it on myself rather than the student if they don't really understand the concept. Teachers also have to uphold professional expectations. To me, that means being prepared, being respectful, being ethical, keeping student information confidential, communicating appropriately, and modeling the same integrity we expect from our students. The teaching profession also advances when teachers collaborate instead of working alone. I think some of the best ideas come from working with other teachers, sharing strategies, and looking at student work together, and being honest about what students need. The most help I've gotten in my first year teaching is honestly collaborating with other teachers. Having experienced teachers tell me like some tips and tricks, and just collaborating with them has really made me feel like I've gotten more from that than anything else in my first year of teaching. After completing the disposition self-assessment, I strongly agree with literally every single category, but a few dispositions do stand out as strengths for me. One is high expectations. I truly believe all students can grow, even when they are far behind grade level. That does not mean every student will master everything at the same speed, but I do believe every student deserves a teacher who expects effort, growth, and success from them. Another strength for me is compassion. I try to remember that students are kids first, and sometimes their behavior, or lack thereof, is connected to things outside of my classroom. I also think dedication is a strength because I care deeply about becoming better, learning from mistakes, and building a career of education. I care for my students. You know, we were all that age once, and things going on in their lives could be affecting how they perform in the classroom. I just want to give that compassion to them and show them that I care as much about their success as they should care about their own success. One disposition I need to keep working on is reflection. I do reflect on my teaching, but I do want to be better at doing more in a consistent and organized way. I'm not very organized, especially as a first year teacher. I felt like a chicken with my head cut off, running around most of the time. Instead of just thinking that lesson went well or that lesson was rough, I want to use the student data, the exit tickets I do take, assessment results, and feedback from colleagues to make better instructional decisions. I also want to keep growing in fairness, especially when dealing with student behavior. It can be easily to get frustrated, especially with middle school students who are off task or not trying, but fairness means I still need to respond consistently, respectfully, and without letting my emotions control the situation. Personal biases can have a major effect on teaching and learning if educators are not aware of them. Bias can affect how a teacher interprets behavior, who gets called on, who gets challenged, and who gets grace, and who is assumed to be capable or not. Even when teacher does not mean harm, bias can lower expectations or create an unfair classroom environment. According to professional expectations, biases should not be ignored or excused. Teachers need to recognize that they have biases, reflect on them, seek feedback, and make decisions based on evidence, student needs, and professional ethics rather than assumptions. I try my best as an educator to, not assume things about kids and, get a very fair shot. No matter who you are, I think everyone deserves the same level of care inside the classroom, like I've been talking about today. As a current teacher candidate, I will uphold academic and professional integrity by being honest in my coursework, properly citing my sources, submitting my own work, and using the resources responsibly. As a teacher, I will also model integrity for my students by being truthful, prepared, respectful, and accountable. If I make a mistake, I want to own it. I also want to protect student privacy, follow school and district policies, and treat students and families with respect. Just like, with my job, this school, this assignment right here, I want to be professional, even though I'm a little nervous, and, do things the right way. This assignment might not be perfect. The students in the classroom might not be perfect. My lesson might not be perfect, but, as long as I give my utmost effort, then I think that's going to go a long way, not only in this class, but, for everything in life, really. But overall, I see professional dispositions as the foundation of good teaching. Content knowledge matters, but who we are as educators matter too. What we bring to the table every day, waking up every morning to make a difference, that makes a difference as well. Students need teachers who believe in them, treat them fairly, respect their differences, and reflect in their practice and continue to grow. My goal is to keep developing these dispositions so I can become the kind of teacher who not only teaches math, but also helps students feel supported, challenged, and capable. That's kind of all I got today, but thank you so much. Go Thunder, and have a great day.